Welcome back to Ladder Clava, and today I'm looking at something a bit different. I'm looking at some bootleg comics. I started getting into bootleg comics a lot more because it's the whole idea of taking an established formula and shifting it on its head, and I really think that that's a pretty interesting thing to do, and it can be quite fun. So, as you see here, it's washed up midlife crisis turtles. And if you notice here, there's a couple of bits of paper that I've used. That's just because Raphael's not very decent in this cover, so I just thought I would give him a bit of decency.
Dude hangs down.
If we take this one away, just focus on this one for a second, just till we go through it. I really like this kind of lime green with a rough kind of sketch on it. It makes it look like back in the day whenever you used to go to like a car boot sale or a market or something, and you would get the bootleg DVDs, and I hope that's what they were going for because they pulled it off quite well. So the first story, again, we continue on that bootleg style where it's like you've still got the photocopied spine of the book that they used to draw this, and I think that's a really cool effect. It makes it seem very rustic almost. But this story, we've got Raphael, and as you see here, he's just an average office worker, and he's reminiscing about back in the days whenever he used to go out and kill the Foot Clan. We've got a little ibuprofen bottle there because you know he's old. And then as you see here, his son's wearing a Foot Clan t-shirt, and that really irks him because the amount of trouble they went through whenever they were younger with the Foot Clan. And he kicks his son out, and he goes to his uncle. I think that's supposed to be Michelangelo? Yeah, probably is. And his uncle's like, yo, don't worry about it. Your dad's a bit of an old head, he has no chill. And then the end of the story is he meets a member of the Foot Clan, and he's like, yo, we got arcade machines, and we got this, we got that. It's a pretty cool place, do you want to come with me? And he's like, yeah, cool. And that's the end of that story. So, throughout the whole book, the maximum you're going to get a story is maybe 6 pages, and that's a very rare thing, getting a 6-page story in this. But it's been done by all different types of people, because as you see here, you know, the art here compared to the art here is a very sharp contrast. This story's pretty cool. It's about them fighting a villain, and they're fighting away. Some really nice detailing going on here. Again, the art, you know, it can range from very, very, very rough to extremely detailed. And then at the end you find out this story that he's just a kid playing with toys. And then you've got here the very rough, although there's some dotting going on here like they used to do with the comics does. That's pretty cool to see. Gonna have to skip forward a couple of pages here because not very appropriate. We'll finish off this book anyway with this page here, which I think is a really cool page. There is, you know, just that line up and down there that's not joined together. There's something about my monkey brain that just goes, no, that's not right, but I can still appreciate it for what it is. I'm not going to complain about that too much. Like, this is an indie studio making this. This isn't like a big publisher. There are limitations to what they can do. And then if you look at the back of the book, I don't know why I spoil the entire thing, that's why I skipped through it. You look at the back of the book, you've got a fake advertisement, and there's one of those in each of the books. I'll show off the second books while I'm talking about this now. 1,000 live baby turtles given away. That one's very similar to the old advertisements you used to get in comic books. That's actually uncanny how familiar that looks. Okay, now on to the second book. I'm not going to spoil the entire thing again. I'm just going to go through a couple of the stories here just to give you a taste. So this one I find quite funny because it's all about one of the turtles says something online. I'll move that across a wee bit actually. There we go. One of the turtles says something online, or is perceived to say something online, and he rallies the troops all together, and they all get together, and they're storming the capital under the banner of a queue. I love this page here as an introduction to this comic here. You can see it looks all faded, but it's definitely, you know, it has to be a design choice as opposed to a printing error, because the rest of the book has come out nicely. Just another kind of way that the word bootleg is thrown around, and it's used in creative ways. I really enjoy that. I think it's aesthetically pleasing. So it's book 2 now that it's called Washed Up Midlife Crisis Turtles, and we start to get into more of the ow, my back hurts, I'm old, please help, that kind of stuff. Again, taking some, is it ibuprofen? Couldn't even tell you what that is. But yeah, stuff that's super gory. There are parts of this comic I can't show off because it's just too far for YouTube's tastes. Again, like, look at this old turtle's face, the old Casey Jones. Again, another old. It is Casey Jones, isn't it? I hope I'm not getting that wrong. If I said it wrong, forgive me. This old Casey Jones again. Look at that face. In fact, no. There's one more story from the first one that I want to look at. And this one will round up the video. We see this. There's only one reason I wanted to show this off. And that's the fact that the humanoid turtles almost give off this uncanny valley. You've got this nice shot here of Raphael's dagger, or whatever the fuck the name of that weapon is, going into this guy's face and pulling out an eye. That's really cool. But just the shape of the turtles is really weird in this one. But again, I dig it. Yeah, that's Washed Up Midlife Crisis Turtles. I'm only going to show the cover of the second issue because I lost the bits of paper that I used to cover up Raphael. And I'm going to have a couple more bootleg comics that I'll be taking a look at in the future. And they're all really cool. Like, you know, if you know anywhere you can get bootleg comics like this, please just leave a comment in the video. I think they're all awesome. Just messing around with a pre-established formula, I think, is one of the coolest things you can do in comic book writing. I'll leave a link down below where you can find these. Bear in mind the link that I have is UK shipping. They were very rare to find, and I thought I had nabbed like the last ones, but they started printing them again, which means more people can actually get to them now, and that's awesome. Right, that'll do it for now. Bye.